What is up, guys? We are the Dudes of Cinema. I'm Cody.
I'm Scott.
Today we're going to be bringing you our spoiler review of Wonder Woman.
Hell yeah.
We did a non-spoiler review for this movie already, so we will go ahead and put that in the description below if you haven't seen it yet.
Hell yeah.
And if you don't care about spoilers, then watch away.
In this spoiler review, we're going to be breaking down some moments that really stood out to us, as well as moments that we couldn't really cover in our regular review.
Exactly.
As we said, you know?
Yeah, because they'd be considered spoilers. So we're just going to break this thing down, just really talk about it in depth, because there's a lot to talk about in this movie. So with that, Scott, you take it away.
Let me just state that I'm glad that in critics and everyone's eyes that this is a success because it feels good.
The scores don't, matter to us. Like, we still love the movie, but it's just nice seeing it. That everybody overall is just inspired by it and is enjoying it because it really is a great film.
But the first thing I want to talk about is definitely Themyscira. I loved how they started with her as like a little girl and learning about like all the lore and all that.
Yeah, like throwing the Greek gods in there. That's what I wanted to talk about.
I love that.
Like, that is so cool. Like we were brought upon by the Greek gods, and I really just love how they threw that Greek mythology
in this universe.
Yeah, exactly. Because then that really gives a good reason for Wonder Woman even existing, and it just adds like a really cool mystical element to the whole DCEU. Like, it kind of takes it up a notch. Like, there's so many things you could do with that, because in the comics you have the old gods like Zeus, Poseidon, all the Greek gods, and you have the new gods like Darkseid. So it's like that could be really cool to see.
She's going to be going up against possibly Darkseid in Justice League.
Yeah, in Justice League.
Who knows?
Exactly.
And I can't wait to see her going up against Steppenwolf in
Justice League. Yeah,
I think Wonder Woman, being a success and whatnot, it gets everyone even more hyped for Justice League.
Exactly. I think that it helps Justice League a lot. Because now a lot of people are going to go to see Wonder Woman as well, and a lot of people are just hyped just to see them all come together, and that's going to be really cool
because we've never seen it.
One part of the whole Themyscira sequence that really stood out to me was that whole battle when like the German soldiers came up to the beach and they had that whole Amazonian battle. Like, that was fucking awesome.
It was awesome because it gave the Amazonians like really a chance to show off like
exactly what they can do.
Really are,
and how badass they are. Yeah. Like, it was really cool to see, and it was also it was the first striking moment for Diana in terms of like she saw her aunt die. You know what I mean? Like, that was like I think that was like the first moment that set her arc in motion.
It really, in her eyes, like, it's not a story anymore. This shit's real. Like,
exactly.
That's what really that was a big like growing up moment for her.
Exactly. Like, it really introduced her to like what mankind could be like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just all butterflies and rainbows. Like mankind has a dark side to them. Doing that was like a pretty powerful moment. Like I said, it set her arc in motion, and like that's what intrigues her to go help man and like help them be better than that. So that they're not killing other people and killing each other. And I thought that was like a really good setup for her to even go on that adventure in the first place.
It was, and I loved how like when she came to the new world, like everything's like all new to her, obviously, and like
that's where a lot of the comedy came.
A lot of the comedy comes in, and like you can tell why she doesn't like mankind, because like even from her being in London for a couple days.
Yeah, right when she gets there, she says it's hideous.
Yeah,
because she goes from the best, Paradise Island, to the absolute worst. Which is like the middle of a war. So like there was no middle ground for her. She literally saw the best and the worst. Yeah. And I think that contrast was really powerful, and it really took her character to where she is now in terms of Batman v Superman and Justice League. One thing that really stood out to me too when they were in London was the Donner references. There was a couple of them that I noticed. One was when she was going to go in the elevator with her sword and shield.
Oh yeah,
she got stuck, and like Christopher Reeve Clark Kent did the same thing in one of the first Superman movie. And when they were in London and the guy stuck the gun out and was trying to get Dr. Maru's book from him, and like the whole alley scene went down. That entire thing was like an homage to the Donner movie as well, when Lois and Clark were getting robbed in the alley and Clark caught the bullet. Instead, like, it bounced off her bracelet and Steve Trevor caught it. Yeah. So I just thought that was a really cool homage, because Patty Jenkins did say that she was really influenced.
It's just a nice little touch.
It really is. It's a nice nod to like the movie that pretty much set all superhero movies in motion.
It's awesome that Patty Jenkins would even do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Throwing that little detail in there.
And speaking of the war, like, I love the freaking No Man's Land sequence. Like, we couldn't really get into it in our other review, but like, dude, when she just like she turns to that second, like when Chris Pine's talking to her, she's just like, "I'm gonna do something." She has her tiara, and I was like, shit,
that's Wonder Woman.
Something's going down.
Like, it's what I'm going to do. Yeah, like, that was a really cool inspirational moment.
Her, and then like you could just tell like Steve Trevor was like, "No, don't do it," and like he could tell like, "Holy shit!" Like, she's doing it.
She's throwing down.
He was just like, "Let's go!" Like,
she could really help us exactly like that, and that's
what
was
whole
so
scene
powerful.
Was awesome, dude.
Because Steve Trevor even says, like, that's no man's land. Like, no man can cross it. And the fact that she's a woman and did it by herself pretty much. Dude. And she inspired all those men to actually move forward. That was a powerful ass sequence. That was a really powerful moment. And then following that was that entire fight in the town where she flips the tank and, like, jumps up and takes out the sniper and takes out the whole building. Yeah.
And then, like, at the end of all that, they take the picture that has been remembered.
Yeah, exactly. That was the perfect touch to that entire scene. Dude. It's awesome. Like, just talking about it right now, it just gives me chills because we really got to see.
It was done so well.
We really got to see, like, Wonder Woman's potential and just throwing down. You know what I mean? And it was just so awesome to see that, like, because she's fighting for a just cause. Like, she's fighting for everybody, just to protect people, and, like, just her motivation behind doing it was just so inspirational as well, because she really cares about everybody. People, like, she wants to stop the journey just to help someone who's, like, got his leg blown off. You know, like, she's so compassionate, and, like, I just love seeing that because that's such an inspirational thing, and that was just so powerful, especially for, like, a female-led superhero movie.
It is. Something that we also stated in our regular review was how this movie has a lot of small character moments. Like, I mean, not obviously with Chris Pine and Wonder Woman, obviously, you know, but then those little other side characters.
Like the small moments with him and his group. Like, that was something that I really liked because it did a really good job at fleshing out all those characters.
Everyone.
With just, like, a little bit of dialogue. And it didn't feel forced. It was, like, perfect. It was just great dialogue. It fit. You know what I mean? It flowed well. One of the examples I could think of is, I think his name was Charlie, the sniper, you know, the marksman.
When he was having nightmares.
When he was having nightmares at the campfire scene. Like, just with that, you could see, like, oh, he has PTSD. Like, he's haunted by his time in the war. Just by him having a dream.
The other guy who was an actor, and he wanted to be an actor, but he said he wasn't the right color. And that just gives you an example of Wonder Woman, where Wonder Woman's just like...
Exactly. And how the world worked at the time as well. He was like, and so I became a soldier, you know? Like, we all have our own battles, just like you. And I think that was, like,
I love that.
I think that was a really important moment for Diana as well. You know, like, each of these people in his group had, like, a really significant impact on her life, and I really like how they showed that in the movie.
Now that picture holds, like, so much more weight.
Yeah, like, that picture from Batman v Superman, it's just it's so much more meaningful.
Cool, yeah. We obviously, like, talked about in the other review. I love the relationship between Chris Pine and Gal Gadot. Like, early in the movie when they were doing the boat scene, they were just talking about humanity and, like, how the world works and, like, sex and all that. It was like, it was funny. It was, like, smart.
It was heartfelt. Like, it was like, it really, it just
and that
really
was before,
built chemistry.
That was before they really, like, knew that they were going to be a couple.
Exactly.
Like, so that was just, like, cool early on. And then I obviously loved, like, the part where Chris Pine sacrifices himself, and, like, when it was, like, crazy because when they were talking, you know, Wonder Woman couldn't hear how they did the scene. If you've seen the movie, she was dazed. Then they visited the moment again about 10 minutes later, and then that's what fueled Diana. Oh my god,
that was just
I had goosebumps. Yeah, that was such a good way of doing it.
The way that they revisited it, like, it was so at the perfect time. It was like her moment to just, you know,
like,
lash out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she really just unlocked her true potential. Like, he was such a likable character, and the movie did such a good job at letting the audience grow on him. You know, like, get attached to him. Like, the movie did a really good job at doing that. So when he did sacrifice himself, it was hard. It hit you hard, man, and, like, it hit Diana really hard too. Like, Gal Gadot's reaction, the way she pulled that off was so good.
Part of that too was obviously, like, the relationship between them. Part of that too was also execution.
Yeah,
the way they just did the scene, like, was so
exactly
good.
Like, we were confused by it. Like, we were like, wait a minute, what did he say? Like, what happened? And then
they revisited
the way. Exactly. Like, when they came back to it, that's just really good storytelling right there.
I love it.
That's how you make a great emotional moment, and that leads into the awesome third act, the big fight scene with Ares, the throwdown with Ares, man.
I knew he was in it.
Holy balls, man. Oh my gosh. Like, they obviously they set up the entire movie as Ludendorff being Ares. And for a second, like, I kind of thought that Ludendorff was going to be Ares, but then there was a moment where I was like, okay, maybe the other guy, before I even saw the movie, I was like, okay, everybody's saying that the other guy is cast as Ares, so maybe that's true. But, you know, then when
she killed him on top and then whatnot.
Exactly. But, like, when they were doing the whole gas and everything like that, like, I thought that was a really cool way of teasing that he could be Ares.
Yeah, that's what, like, I was thinking the whole time. I was like, I think he could be Ares.
Yeah, and I think that was a good way of doing that. But as Jeremy John said in his spoiler talk, if you guys have seen that, he says that he believes that could be, like, a precursor to the Bane chemical, which would be kind of cool.
It'd be cool.
It's out there,
it'd be cool to connect it, you know?
Yeah, like, that would be a cool little thing. Yeah, it'd be a cool way to connect it.
I would like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, that was really cool how they executed that twist that the other guy was Ares, because at first, you know, he was I think his name was Sir Patrick.
Yeah.
He was just, you know, all about peace and, you know, let's just, like, get this war to end, and then you see that
Psych.
Exactly, like he's the puppet behind the strings. And like he said, he didn't put anything in motion. He just gave them the means to do it,
and they did.
They chose to do it on their own, which I thought that was really a really
smart
cool
dialogue
twist.
too.
Exactly, it's smart storytelling because it's like, wow, like men aren't always good. You know, like some of us aren't always good, and like that's just the reality of it. Like Diana was so naive to think that men are just good. Like if Ares is dead, the war's over, violence is gone. But that's not how it is. You know, like sometimes we're just not good. And that I liked how Chris Pine
alluded to that. Exactly.
Yeah, like I thought that was really
smart ass.
Yeah, it was.
I loved it.
He like really grounded Diana. He really like kept her head on the ground.
He was a perfect like character.
Yeah, like he was a really big part in, you know, teaching her about the world. So when she lost him, it just
really hit her hard.
All that building up to it, it was just such a good way to do it. I just love how they pulled that off.
I love this movie.
And in our non-spoiler review, I said I had a little nitpick, but I couldn't say the spoiler. And like it's not like it doesn't bother me at all. It's just something that I wish was there, and that was I just wish Ares had the red eyes like beneath the mask. Like I love how he just carved out his mask. I thought that was really cool, and how the armor just came onto him. But like I don't know, like the red eyes would have just been like such a cool, menacing touch.
It would have been cooler to look.
Yeah, like
that would cool.
It would have just been cool to see. Like visually, it would have been a nice touch. But I mean, like that whole battle was everything I could have asked for.
It was so awesome.
Like I said, I love the fact they're introducing Greek mythology into it. I wonder now if Aquaman has like some kind of ties to Poseidon. That would be pretty cool. Like I just really love that they added that Greek mythology.
It opens up more doors.
Yeah, it just makes it so mythical.
Yeah. Wonder Woman was just such like a good breakthrough for the DCEU because now there's just more confidence moving forward.
There really is. Like now, I feel like the pressure has
it's been lifted.
A little bit of pressure.
A little bit has been lifted.
Yeah, a little bit has been lifted off of Justice League.
So we're gonna see Justice League.
Yeah, everything we've heard from Justice League has been good. Like when they had the press set visit a long time ago, even the harshest critics of the DCEU had a good time there.
Yeah,
a lot of the reports from there were good
and fun. Like everything.
Yeah, and the trailer got received really well. You know, so that's really good to see.
We should be getting a new one pretty soon.
Yeah, we should be getting a new footage probably at Comic-Con. That's what I'm thinking.
A couple months.
I think they're gonna really drop something big at Comic-Con. Yeah, since like that. I mean, it's Comic-Con.
4 months out of the movie.
Drop something at Hall H. Like I think that's the perfect time to do it. And I think that's when we're gonna see new Justice League footage.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, guys, that is our spoiler review of Wonder Woman. Like we said, if you haven't seen our non-spoiler review, we'll throw the link for that video down in the description below.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and check that out. Throw us a like and subscribe for more. And with that, we are the Dudes of Cinema.